Hi, this is my third attempt at trying to do this. I realize I'm terrible at this live thing. My camera was just all wrong before. Anyway, so I am just gonna wait a few seconds for. Here we go. One person has joined me. Hello. So, good afternoon if you're joining me from this side of the Atlantic, or good morning to if you're joining me from the other side of the Atlantic, so Caribbean islands or America. So let me know in the comments where you're joining me from, and also the ages of your children, names and ages of your children who are joining me, so I know for next time going forward what kind of ages I need to be looking at to find age appropriate books. So hello and welcome to everyone who's joined me. So just a brief introduction of what I am planning to do. So because everyone's now become homeschooling teachers all of a sudden because of these strange times, I thought I would help out some of the parents by doing a little story time session, so you could let your kids join in with me for story time. So I'm just going to close this door because I can hear my dog barking. Right, so hi Jeffrey, hi Shelley, joining from Canada and from Trinidad, yay, hi. So what am I going to do today? I'm going to read from my book Alphabet Adventure in Trinidad and Tobago, but going forward I'm going to be reading from some of my children's favorite stories. I might come back to this book every now and again, but I'm trying to not shove my own book down your neck too much. So let me know in the comments as well as we go along, what are your children's favorite books, and I will try to either source them from my own children's library, because I have quite a large selection of children's books myself, and or I would try to source them online, because some of the libraries around the world have given access to their selection of children's books to keep children occupied for free, which is amazing. So I will try to find some links to some of those to post on my page, so some of you could have access to that as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you put in the comments some of your requests for me to read, I will do that, try to source them however I can, even if I have to get them on the Kindle or whatever. Hi everybody. Right, so we have about 36 people with us now, so I think I will make a start. So I did try to beg my son Ethan to join me so he could hold another copy of my book up this way so you could see the pictures, but he's very rudely declined, said it's too boring and he prefers to play outside with his daddy. So let's hope your children think differently. I don't think this is going to be a boring session. Right, so shall we begin? 41 people joining me. Yay, that's a lot more than I was expecting. Okay, so Alphabet Adventure in Trinidad and Tobago. So we're gonna go. Take off. Patrick and Joe were two special boys, everyone would agree. They were born and raised in England, and so was their daddy. Their mummy lived in England too, and they were proud to know. She came from a different place, a Caribbean twin island called Trinidad and Tobago. It meant they were different. They had two cultures. How cool! They really loved their mummy's food. Oh, how it made them drool. But they'd never been to visit where their mummy is from. So she took them on an alphabet adventure so they could learn a ton. Their mission was to discover things about Trinidad and Tobago for each letter A to Z. At the airport, they could not wait to board the plane. They were as excited as can be. So I'll just show you the picture. That's the page. So to get your little ones to tell you, where's Patrick sitting? And what's he looking out at? Where do you think he is? While I read this page for you. Atlantic Ocean! Hooray! Joe, Atlantic begins with the letter A. That is the huge sea that separates each island, said Dad. It hugs the north of the UK and the east of Trinidad. They landed and were greeted by their grandparents and cousins. Because in Trinidad, families come to the airport in dozens. Patrick and Joe loved the warmth of the sun. They knew with their big family, this trip was going to be lots of fun. A is for Atlantic Ocean. Ooh, letter B. What's that? Where do you think Patrick and Joe are? It's a beach in beautiful Trinidad. And that might give you a little clue there of which beach it is. So we ready? Beach time next. Don't waste the day. Off to Maracas for sand, sea and hours of play. Maracas is a popular beach on the north coast. You can get one of the best sandwiches in the world. So Trinidadians boast. It's called Bake and Shark. Mummy said it's divine. Joe pointed to the letter B on the sign. Well done, Joe, you found the letter B, said Mummy. He ran off with Daddy to ride the waves in the sea. Bake is fried bread that the chefs make before your eyes. It is filled with fried shark. Your taste buds will get a surprise. Patrick stayed with Mummy to carefully select all the various fillings to make his sandwich perfect. He put pineapple, shadow benny chutney and tomato, then washed it all down with a red Solo. Too soon came the time to wave goodbye to this beach, but the boys knew more adventures were within their reach. B is for beach and bake. Bake and shark. Ooh, what is that? Carnival morning. All the beautiful costumes around the savannah. And Patrick's there enjoying his snow cone. And Joe is somewhere, oh there he is, on Granddad's neck, dancing to soca. So let's hear all about Carnival. Carnival morning, what a treat! Granddad took them to see people dancing in the street. Trinidad Carnival is the best display of joy, you will agree. And it also begins with the letter C. People wear glamorous costumes in a variety of colours. They dance to soca music at a street party for hours. Patrick said to their mummy since they had such a ball, "We love soca music. We want to download all." Granny cooked a traditional local dish called callaloo. Patrick wasn't keen. He thought it looked like poo. Curious little Joe wanted to try. On the first sip he said, "If you miss this, you will cry." Callaloo begins with C. It feels just like silk. It's a soup made with dasheen bush, okra, and lots of coconut milk. Some people also add crabs or salted pig's tail. Patrick finally tried it and wanted a whole pail. Two little boys gave the air a pump. Grandad said they were going to Caroni Swamp. The friendly tour guide took them along the river. He knew so much about the wild animals. He was so clever. Patrick thanked the guide for all his kindness. Then he looked up and saw a flock of red birds, the scarlet ibis. Hundreds were nesting in the trees, and the boys' heads whirred. The guide told them they were one of the national birds. There it is. Scarlet ibis in all its glory. C is for callaloo, carnival, and Carony Swamp, where the scarlet ibis lives. Right, this is quite a long book, so I'm going to jump. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to jump around a little bit now. So we're going to read now letter F. Type if you know where that is. Letter F for Fort George in Port of Spain. So let's read all about Fort George. Fort George, a historical site Patrick read about himself. The next morning's adventure began with an F. Patrick read about it, that it was built by the British. It was so well kept to a very fine finish. He was pleased to see what he read in the book was better than imagined when you get a real-life look. There were the original cannons pointing towards the Gulf of Paria. Standing there, you can see a stunning view of the whole area. There were also dungeons and war artifacts to explore. While inside, Joe was filled with excitement galore. Patrick had so many questions about Trinidad's history. He found it interesting. It was once a British colony. Mummy explained that the history made their culture quite unique. Patrick was pleased by how much he'd learned in only 1 week. F is for Fort George. Looks a lot like that in real life as well. Right, so let's jump forward a little bit again. Letter J. We've got Patrick and Joe in the garden. And what do you see in the tree there? An iguana. I is for iguana. But Patrick's crying, so we're going to find out what's made him cry. Yeah? Ready? Letter J. Jep, Jep! Yelled Patrick as he scampered down the tree. He got stung by an insect that was so angry. A Jack Spaniard is a large wasp Trinidadians call a jep. It stings you so hard, it's sure to make you yelp. Patrick ran crying to Granny, who cheered him up with jalebi. It's a sweet the Indians brought to Trinidad in the 19th century. Indian workers were brought to work on sugarcane fields, so lots of Trinidadian culture is of this origin, including the meals. Like Trinidadian curry and roti, a popular dish. Granny said she will make some for them if they wish. Oh yes, please, we would love to have some. Please tell us where the other foods originate from. Yes, of course, but it's a lot to take in your head. How about I tell you about all the ethnicities instead? 35% of people come originally from Africa. In equal amount, they were brought from India. The British also brought people from China to help in the fields, but they preferred to look after their business needs. Some European plantation owners chose to remain. They had families and land here and lots to gain. We cannot forget those who claim 2 or more. The mixed population can be mixed with all 4. The people come in all colours, such a great creation. This is why it is known as the Rainbow Nation. There we go. Jep is what made Patrick cry. J is for Jep, or Jack Spaniard, which is the proper name. And jalebi, it looks a bit like this, a sweet called jalebi. Very yummy, full of sugar. Very naughty. Right, let's jump forward a bit to letter N. N is for Nariva Swamp. And that there is the West Indian manatee. Patrick and Joe taking a little boat ride along the Nariva Swamp. So let's find out what they learnt about the Nariva Swamp. Ready? They went to Nariva Swamp in the hope they can see a creature only found in Trinidad, the West Indian manatee. Nariva Swamp is Trinidad's largest freshwater wetland. That's what they were told by their clever granddad. It is home to hundreds of animals, lots you can see. It is the most important home for the beloved manatee. It's also